And by the way, if a guy has never tried to trap you with a baby or trap you otherwise, consider yourself lucky. It's not a flex. It's actually really scary to know that there's somebody out there that wants to slow you down just because they just don't want to see you do well in life. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you happy just because they're a big ass hater. It's really scary to know that people like that exist. And I see too many women out here bragging about, yeah, he locked me down. Meanwhile, when the baby gets here, he's nowhere to be found. What's that about? You gotta be diligent out here. You have to be diligent. You will be surprised how many men out here are plotting on you. Because they don't want to die alone. They don't want to die alone. They don't want to die alone in a nursing home. So they have to find somebody to trap to be stuck with them. Don't let it be you.
One thing I've noticed is that some men love the idea of having permanent access to a woman, but they don't actually want the responsibilities that come with being a partner or a father. And the more stories I hear from women, the more I realize these situations often follow the same pattern. Things like the big promises, the big plans, and the big talks about family. Then, when the responsibilities shows up, so many of those promises disappear. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today's topic is an interesting one, which is men baby trapping women. I know to an extent, as a woman, we must have gone through this stage, or we know someone that knows someone currently in this stage, or who has gone through this phase of life before. This channel does not support any form of hate in any way or form. These videos are only for educational, entertainment, and informational purposes. Now we're going to go ahead, play these clips. We're going to play, pause, react, play, pause, react.
So people baby trap you to make sure that they stay involved or have access to your life for damn near forever, pretty much. Damn near a tale as old as time, isn't it? Just like, well, we're about to break up. Hey, let's do it one more time for the road, all right? And then there's a baby on the way all of a sudden. And now that person feels like they have access to you for the rest of your life. Sometimes people will suggest having a baby to fix a relationship, which is absolutely insane. Like, if y'all are struggling to communicate, if you're struggling spending time together, if you're struggling just in general, adding a baby or twins or triplets will not help your relationship. Like, we're going to love this little bundle of joy together. That doesn't work right there, y'all. I promise you. It actually makes you go, it can actually make you grow apart. I can't even talk straight. I'm getting so flustered. Not all narcissistic people will try to baby trap you, but there are a lot of them will, y'all. I'm just telling you. I've talked to a lot of people who are on the verge of escaping narcissistic relationships, and all of a sudden they found out they were pregnant, or they send a text message from their narcissistic partner saying, "We're pregnant. Guess what? You ain't going nowhere. Gotcha." You see what I'm saying? This is my advice to anybody out there right now. If you don't have a baby with a narcissistic person, if you're watching my videos thinking your partner might be a narcissist, the inkling of the thought that they might be narcissistic, don't have a baby with it. I'm just telling you, it just makes your life so much harder. It just does, y'all.
This is the part a lot of people don't talk about. Everybody talks about the baby, but I pay attention to what was happening right before the baby. Because if a relationship is already struggling, if you all can't communicate, if somebody already has one foot out the door, why is a baby suddenly the solution? Because I've never understood that part. A baby needs stability, and the baby doesn't magically create it, right? And so when somebody starts acting like a child is going to fix the problem they refuse to fix themselves, that's a huge red flag to me. Another thing that gets me is how often women are expected to carry the optimism in these relationships. Like, maybe it will get better, maybe having a family will change him, or maybe things will work out, right? Meanwhile, nobody is asking why the man isn't already showing up as the partner he already promised he'll become. That part always seemed to get skipped.
If a man is trying to get you pregnant in the next 6 months, he definitely hates you. It's 100% a trap. You should definitely run. If you're someone that is intentionally trying to get pregnant And the first words out of his mouth this morning weren't, "Are you sure? I think we should wait." You're not safe. I need you to understand that men are going to start intentionally targeting you for pregnancy. They are going to be doing it on purpose. They already have been, but it's going to become so much more intense now. They're going to start pitching fits about wearing condoms. They're going to ask you questions about your birth control that they've never asked you about before. And they're going to sweet talk you. They're going to say, "We can do this. It's me and you." No, bitch. It's just you.
So, can we be honest for a second? I've noticed some men get real offended when women start talking about extra precautions. The condom becomes a problem. Questions about birth control starts popping up. Suddenly, he's got opinions about decisions that affect your body. And I'm always sitting here thinking, so why are you invested in this? Because if we're both trying to prevent a pregnancy, why am I the only one being made to feel guilty about this?
So I don't care if you're on birth control. Make him wear a condom and never let him take from his stash. Always take from yours that you keep in a secure place that he can't get to. Never give him all the information he needs to know about your birth control, specifically the name of it and when you got on it, when you need to have it replaced, nothing like that. He can't know it. And very important, especially if you live with him. Notice if he starts trying to clock your periods. Pay attention. A baby is a weapon formed against you. Okay? That's the world we live in. Stay safe.
The older I get, the less romantic I find pressure. So if a woman says she's not ready, then she's not ready. That shouldn't start a debate and it shouldn't even start an argument. For me, any man who treats your boundaries like an obstacle instead of something to respect, then he is definitely telling you something you need to know, maybe something you probably need to realize.
Ladies, why would a man get a woman pregnant that he has no intention of being in a relationship with? And let me just say this, that's just something I'll never do, okay? Number one reason, because maybe he's trying to trap you, right? Because he sees that this woman is a catch, but yet he doesn't want to commit to a woman. He wants to do his thing, but he knows that you're a catch. So he's going to get you pregnant because at the end of the day, unfortunately for a lot of men, when they see a girl got a kid, it weeds off a lot of men. It turns a lot of men off, all right? It is what it is. Number two reason, because maybe he's just an irresponsible man. There's men out there who are literally nut in everything and anything and don't give a fuck, all right? That's why you gotta protect yourself. You can't just be sleeping raw with anybody. Use some birth control or make sure they're wearing protection. And then number three reason, because maybe he knows that you have shit going for yourself. So if he gets you pregnant, he knows that you're gonna take care of the kid and he doesn't have to have a lot of responsibility. All right? So then I hope that helped y'all out, gave y'all some clarity.
You know what stood out to me? The part that some of these men supposedly want the baby so badly, but somehow don't want the responsibility. How does that even work? Because every woman I have ever met who genuinely wanted a child was thinking about a lot of things. Example, they talked about the diapers, the school, doctor's appointments, sleepless nights, and so on. Not just the pregnancy itself, because a lot goes into having a child. So when somebody wants the title but not the work, that tells me they are interested in something completely different. And honestly, I think women get sold this idea that if a man gets you pregnant, it automatically means he loves you. No, it means he got you pregnant. Those are not the same thing. Love is what happens after. Love is the consistency. Love is the effort. Love is showing up when nobody is forcing you to.
I remember one of my exes told me that he wanted to baby trap me. And now that I think about it, I didn't think that he meant that seriously because I remember when it actually came down to it and he was like, oh, like obviously I don't want you to get pregnant because like we wouldn't be able to take care of the baby, blah, blah. So it's like, it's like guys, they still have a sense of like, oh yeah, that's wrong. But I do believe that they have it rooted in them subconsciously that in order to have full control and like full power over a woman is that you need to have their baby, that you need to trap them, because they see motherhood as like a way to like take away a woman's power. And I remember one of my cousins, she was talking to me about how her ex, when she was having her pregnancy scare, she told me about how her ex was like, oh, I was hoping that you would end up getting pregnant, because mind you, this guy was cheating on her, and he was literally saying, oh, I was hoping that you would get pregnant so that like I could have like, you know, like a baby with you, Bob. And then he said so then she wouldn't be able to leave. That is literally why they want kids with us, is so that we don't leave them, so that they feel like that they have a control over us.
So imagine knowing a woman wants to leave because of your behavior, and your solution isn't to change. Your solution is to make living harder for her. I don't know how anybody hears that and calls it love, because that doesn't sound like love to me. It sounds like somebody trying to hold on to a person they haven't even treated enough to keep. And then women get called bitter for talking about this. But let's be real, nobody is sitting around angry because somebody loved them too much. People get hurt when they realize the relationship they thought they were in wasn't the relationship the other person is having. That's where the disappointment comes from.
I'm going to be real with y'all. If you have ever been with a man or talking to a man, and he says anything along the lines of, oh, I'm going to put a baby in you, or I'm going to give you a child, you better run far away, because I'm going to tell you, he is threatening you. This is a trap. This is how men get women to stay in these long relationships. And this is where, these type of men will tie you down. And they don't even be as attracted to you. But they will tie you down and make sure no other man tries to get into your life or anything like that, because he has that baby with you.
I've always found this weird because some men will be talking about babies long before they've even proven they can handle a normal relationship. You can't communicate, you disappear for 3 days, you can't be consistent, you don't know how to resolve conflict. But now we're discussing bringing a whole child into this situation. Sir, can we successfully return a phone call first?
Men do this all the time, and it's the most sickening thing to me. Because how are you going to threaten her and give her a baby and all this other stuff because you're selfish or any of these things? This is how the possessive, manipulative, narcissistic men start, by saying things like this. And I'm going to tell you that this is far from a compliment. Because what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a guy that's not even attracted to you. And then not only that, the harsh reality is guys will say things like this because they know how other guys treat women with babies or any of that sort, because they don't want to take that burden on of having another guy's child in their life. But that's just how it is. But y'all stay safe.
So, ladies, I want us to notice something. A lot of men love future talk. They love future trips, they love future houses, they love future baby, future everything. But pay attention to how they handle today's responsibilities, because that is usually where the real story is.
Some men will purposely impregnate you not because they want to be a father, not because they want to be a family, but because they forever want access to you. Hear me out. I am 25 years old with a 1-year-old. I have a toxic baby father. I have a baby father who I feel like did not want to be a dad, but just forever want access to me and always wants to keep tabs on me. 9 out of 10 times when my baby father calls, it's not to check on his daughter. It's where you at, what you doing, what are you up to, not what he's supposed to be calling for, which is how's my child, does my child need anything, any upcoming appointments. Never, 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 never the case.
What she's describing here is something I hear women talk about all the time. The conversation is supposed to be about the child, like the child's welfare, what the child likes, the doctor's appointment, school, etc. But somehow it always circles back to her. Where are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? What time are you coming back home? And after a while, as a woman in such situation, you start realizing that this isn't curiosity. This is a man wanting information and access while trying to be possessive as well.
So again, be careful with men who want to trap you, because they know by giving you a child, they will always have access to you, no matter what. And they use the child as a pawn to get you upset, or as a pawn to get your attention. And the truth of the matter is, once you have a child with someone, you are forever locked in. Always. So again, be careful with men who want to impregnate you to trap you and forever have access to you, but do not want the responsibility that actually comes with fatherhood.
It's always interesting to know how some men want access without responsibility. They want updates, they want information, they want attention. But ask them about support, consistency, responsibility, and suddenly everybody gets quiet. And that's the part that never makes sense to me.
Guys, think about how crazy this is. When a dude traps you with a baby, he's not only saying you are obligated to this relationship in some way, shape, or form. He's saying you have to be a mother to my child, and you're somehow obligated to be a mother to me as well, because I know I can't take care of myself. Because if I could, I wouldn't need to obligate somebody to be in a relationship with me to reinforce my inability to do that. And before the guys go ahead and drop in the comments acting crazy, acting, women do it too, women do it too. Yeah, women definitely do it too. But patriarchy creates a system where women are forced to marry and connect themselves to a man for their own survival or sustenance of their lives. We are just coming into a period where women are able to build for themselves and create through their own conscious will. Not that it hasn't always been like that, but because society is just starting to recognize that after completely demonizing free women. So yes, this conversation is more heavily focused on the men. And yes, when you do look at this conversation with some depth, finally, you can see that men also find ways to depend on women, but then flip the script to make them look like some kind of rebellious, confident, like playboy, or some just like an identity that validates you being some traumatizing asshole and stopping you from taking the accountability that you need to take. So maybe if you can't make anybody's life better, you could at least just be a good human being.
That phrase, mothering the man part, women know exactly what he's talking about because some relationships start feeling like a full-time management position. You remind him of everything, you organize him, you fix things for him, you calm him down, you clean up his messes. And then people wonder why women get exhausted. That's because she's carrying two people's responsibilities. I also think a lot of women would happily do less if more men stepped up and did more. Women are not asking for perfection. They're asking not to feel alone in the relationship.
Many mamas that I talk to have a common theme where their absent father of their children wanted the baby more than they did. Now, how does this make sense? You wanted the baby more, but now you're absent. I'll tell you why. Because they never wanted the baby. They wanted you. They wanted a permanent string between you and him that he could always yank on and always count on to have access to you. I did not understand this when I met my son's father. I genuinely thought the man was in love with me. I genuinely believed he wanted to start a family with me. I apparently was Boo Boo the fool. Because my son is now 10 months old. This man has not shown up once. Not once. He's never held his son. He's never experienced his laughter. He's never seen him grow. Nothing. He hasn't even sent a diaper, a wipe, an outfit. He hasn't even sent toys. Toys. Cheap ass toys. Nothing. And this man convinced me that having a baby together would be amazing. And I wanted to be a mother again. I wanted another child. But this desire was, buried because I didn't trust. I had a terrible experience with my daughter's father, and I didn't want to experience that again. But this man gave me so many trust signals. Anyways, I say all that to say that a man wanting to get you pregnant is absolutely not an indication that he actually wants to have children or that he has the spirit of fatherhood. Men often only want to get you pregnant because of the control, because of the permanent access. Some of these niggas miscalculate. Some of us don't play that unmitigated access to us. I'm not one of those. Both of my baby daddies know that you can't just come around here playing with me. And because they can't just come around here and play with me, they're both fully absent. They both wanted these kids. But they didn't. They only wanted access to me permanently.
So this story actually makes me sad because listening to everything she said, the promises, the conversations, the trust and the plans, that's what people don't understand. Women don't just wake up one day and randomly believe somebody. It takes time to build, and when a man spends months building that trust just to disappear overnight, that's on him. I also get tired of hearing people act like women always had all the information. No, some men are incredible salesmen. They know exactly what to say, exactly what image to present, exactly how to sound serious. Then when reality shows up, they disappear. Let's put responsibility where it belongs.
Stop acting like y'all didn't know men be trapping women with kids. They absolutely do. And you know what? The better you look, the more in trouble you are. A man will pretend to love you, get you pregnant, and don't even love you. And they do that just so other men won't find you attractive. It's some men out there that don't want women with no kids. I mean, I know y'all say it's not fair. Me, myself, I don't care. But the high quality men y'all want, they want a woman with no kids. And these particular men know that. So if they can get you pregnant and take you off the market for a good man for the rest of your life, they'll do that. You want to know why? Because they feel like you'll always be the one that'll come back to them. You'll always have to rely on them because don't nobody else want you. It's a sick psychology. But you say y'all want the truth, and there go the truth. I just put you on game. Watch who you have a kid by.
What I don't understand is why some men are so determined to convince women that nobody else will want them. Like, if she's supposedly undesirable, if she's supposedly damaged, or if she's supposedly impossible to love, then why are you working overtime trying to keep her? Because that math has never added up for me. Another thing I dislike is when a man tries to attack a woman's confidence, because once a woman starts believing she's unlucky to have him, she starts accepting things she would never accepted before. Things like disrespect, neglect, broken promises, and then people wonder why some men work so hard to lower a woman's self-esteem, because a confident woman is a lot harder to control. So ladies, after listening to all the stories, one thing is clear to me: wanting a baby and wanting to be a father are not the same thing. Wanting access to a woman and loving a woman are not the same thing also. And I think a lot of women have been taught to treat pregnancy as proof of commitment, when unfortunately, commitment can only be measured by what somebody does after the life changing decision is made. That is the difference, and that's the part women shouldn't ignore. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.